I went from a person who could never even read a single page of a book to reading all of these books. There's one over here and there's few more in that cupboard, to reading all of that books. And this completely changed the way I think, the way I talk, the way I interact, things that I consume, the things that I'm looking for. Everything's changed, and that is only and only because of reading. I still remember back in the day when I was in school, we used to have this library period where we used to go to the library for an hour and then sit, pick a book and then start reading. It could be any kind of books, story, fictional, non-fictional, self-help, anything, but no matter what book they gave me, I could never start reading. I used to either bunk that class or I used to just play with my friends like tic-tac-toe or bingo or something like that. I used to not read books at all. And yet I'm making this video because that is how much of a transformation reading books got me through. And when I say books, I mean self-help books. So you can see right here, they're all self-help. I still don't read non-fiction or like fiction, storybooks, any sort of things. It's all self-help books, and trust me, this is a game changer. Okay, now let's talk about how I went from not being able to read a page to reading all of these books. So this was a year and a half ago when I first went to the bookstore with my friends and I bought my first ever self-help book, which was Atomic Habits. And I didn't actually plan on buying this, but I was just going through the books that were there and I just flipped through the pages, and there were a lot of diagrams, there were a lot of scientific facts, which I love. And so I thought maybe this would be easier for me to start with because there are not much words. Like obviously there's written stuff, but there were also like cute, beautiful diagrams. So I was like, maybe it'll be interesting and I can get through this. And then instead of reading the entire book in a week, instead of reading lots of it, I just started with 1 page per day. This is also a concept which is taught in the book Atomic Habits, where you take in small, seemingly insignificant steps and you keep doing that, and that's how you start building a habit. And that's why it's named Atomic Habits. Like the habits that are so small, like atom-sized habits, but they are the ones that truly make a game-changing difference. Initially, I started with 1 page per day. That literally takes 2 minutes of your time. So I should just read 1 page, like both sides, and then I used to keep the next page for the next day. And I kept doing that for around 10 days. Then I moved on to 2 pages and then slowly 3, and now I kind of do like a chapter per day. So that's how I slowly started building that habit. And once you build that habit, you stop thinking like, okay, should I read the book today? That's no more of a question. You just take the book and start reading. It's like when you wake up, do you think of brushing? You just go, you don't think, okay, should I brush, should I not brush, maybe I'll brush tomorrow. You don't say all of that, right? Because you're just habitual to it. You wake up, you just go brush and then come out. And one more habit that truly made me more productive and knowledgeable is listening to audiobooks. Now, when I go to college, it's like a 5-minute walk to the bus stand and then a 10-minute drive in the bus. So it's around 15 to 20 minutes in total. And I listen to audiobooks every single time I go and then back from college to my room. And the reason why it makes you productive and knowledgeable is because an average person spends more than 1,000 hours a year just traveling to places. So whenever you're driving or whenever you're in the bus or in the auto, you can just listen to audiobooks and convert this travel time into learning time. Okay, now let me suggest you few books that you can use to get started out. I'm not putting out all the books that the internet suggests or anything like that. I'm just suggesting you books that I have read and I have gained value from personally. So from these set of books, I'd say the first one you could go with is Here. So we start with Atomic Habits. I chose this book and I suggest you guys to start with this because it contains like nice tables like this. Then we have diagrams. So you can just start with this book. And now that I'm looking at it, I want to read again. Okay, this is this one more before after diagram. Okay, I'm getting too addicted. The next book is this, which is from Raj Shamani. If you're an Indian and if you know who Raj Shamani is, you can read this book. I suggest reading this book. It's called Build, Don't Talk. And there are 40 topics starting from our education system sucks, controversial, but it is true, going up till things I wish I was taught in school. So there are a lot of topics. This is his personal story where he went from a very average student to where he is right now. The next book is How to Talk to Friends and Influence People. If you're struggling with communication and if you're not an extrovert like me, and if you want to talk to people, if you want to make more friends, how to know how to deal with people, then you can read this book. It's a great book. It's by Dale Carnegie. And then we have Compound Effect. I think by far the greatest struggle that I've had in like years of my life was I couldn't stay consistent. And this is exactly what this book teaches. It talks you how to become successful and how to use the effect of compounding to your advantage to actually become successful. So again, in this, there are few diagrams, there are few tables. And if you want to know more about this book, I've made a completely detailed video where I talk about all the lessons that I've learned from this. So you can click this I button here. And after watching this video, you can check that out as well. Okay, now let's talk about something important. That's knowing what are the books that you can listen to as audiobooks and what are the books that you need to have a physical copy or like a soft copy where you look at it and then read. So books like Atomic Habits and Compound Effect, I highly suggest that you buy the book or you can use the soft copy on the laptop and then read the book. Like you visually look at it because there are a lot of diagrams, a lot of tables. And books like Build, Don't Talk, How to Win and Influence People, I suggest you guys to look at audiobooks because that is sufficient. You can listen and understand. So if you are tight on budget or if you don't want to buy books, so you can start with these two books and you can listen to the audiobooks on your way to work or on your way to college. I have few suggestions for audiobooks as well. So we start with Eat That Frog. It tells you 21 ways to stop procrastinating. So it's a great book, great audiobook to start with. Next up, we have Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and he talks about how he had two dads, basically his dad and his friend's dad, and one of them was a poor dad, one of them was a rich dad, and how they differ in thoughts and how they differed in actions. So it's a very good book, you can listen to it. Next, we have The Mindset Mentor by Rob Deal, and if you're just starting out, I highly recommend you listen to this podcast. He talks about the mindset shift that you need to go through in order to go from an average person to a successful one. He talks about motivation, direction, focus, neurology, neurobiology, and all of that stuff. Then we have the Huberman Lab. This is by Dr. Andrew Huberman. He's a neuroscientist from Stanford University. He talks about how our brain works, how dopamine works, how you can get addicted to the hard stuff. So if you're interested in the scientific part of your brain, of your sleep, of your schedule, anything related to the brain, this is one of the best podcasts. If you're into sales and communication, I suggest Exactly What to Say by Phil M. Jones. He talks about a few frameworks or a few set of words that you need to use in order to grow your sales. And he provides a lot of frameworks that you can actually implement. He gives you examples on when to implement and where to implement. So if you want to boost your sales using communication, this is exactly what to say. A mistake that I made was I tried to listen to Alex Hermozy's The $100 Million Offer audiobook. And what I realized that there's so much value in that. There's so many formulas, there's so many financial stuff that he talks about. It's so valuable that you cannot listen and remember. Knowing what are the books that you have to listen to and understand and knowing when to actually buy the book is also crucial. So you can start with the books that I suggested with the audiobooks and the physical copies. So buy them or download them and then listen, read, and trust me, this is going to change your life. And if you want to find like-minded people who are also reading books like that so you can share your lessons that you learned and ask for more suggestions, you can watch this video. I talk about how this platform is going to change the way you network and how this helped me network with so many people that I never imagined I could. So watch that video. I'll also be sharing with you few resources where you can find a community of like-minded people so that you can connect with them and truly understand and boost your productivity because you are your average of your 5 friends. That's a quote that they say. So click there, watch that video, and until then, I'll see you in the next one.